Construction of the George Walker Bush, or N1 highway, was funded by the United States government-sponsored Millennium Challenge Corporation through the Millennium Development Authority. Ghana qualified for the $570 million funding mechanism following the attainment of very stringent targets relating to democratic governance. However, some of the projects have ended up creating other problems for Ghanaians. For instance, the George Walker Bush Highway was built without the disabled in mind. There are no access paths for the disabled, hindering their movement from one point of the highway to the other. The concerns were initially raised in February 2012 when late President John Atta Mills commissioned the N1 highway. However, the Millennium Development Authority only responded by saying the overpass and the road designed were not intended for use by persons with disability. The Federation believes the stance taken by MIDA is in violation of Section 6 of the Persons with Disability Act passed in 2006. Lawyers for the plaintiffs, Atuguba and Associates, who declined to comment on camera, say prior to the completion and commissioning of the highway, the Millennium Development Authority was contacted about making the overpasses disability-friendly. Members of the Federation present at the Human Rights Court said, as Ghanaians, they do have equal rights with able-bodied persons to have safer roads to walk on.
Person with disability are marooned. If you're on one side, you cannot cross to the other side. We have about 6 overpasses that there is no ramp for a person with disability to use. And so far as 7105 is concerned, it says that any public structure that is being put up must make provision for a person with disability to use that structure. And this has been violated. And that's why we are suing them to make amendment to enable our person with disability also use that public access, which is the road.
Many public properties lack disability-friendly access routes, so why just the N1?
N1 highway is significant because we are looking at over 14-kilometer stretch of road passing through a number of communities with a high concentration of persons with disabilities in those high number of communities on the 14-kilometer stretch of the road. The highway is significant in many ways. It is a landmark project. It's a project that most of us are proud of, but unfortunately, a segment of population, persons with disability, who can see the N1 instead being kind of a monster for them, it's ruining their lives. This is our concern for N1 highway. There are many public buildings which are not accessible, but we think that the N1 highway can be an example. It can be a starting point for us to start to get authorities to be forced using legal means to do the right thing.
The defendants declined to comment on the matter. The case has been adjourned to Valentine's Day, February 14, 2013. Eunice Nyamicha Jonathan's report for ETV News.